Hi, my name is Sus Lopez. Today I'll be discussing climate change. Drought, wildfires, floods, and food shortages are all things that could happen by 2030, according to the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. These are all things that could happen in your society, your world, and whether it be directly or not, you will be affected. I've read several articles, books, and credible websites in order to learn all that I could about climate change, and I hope to share all this new information with you. Climate change has a significant impact on human society and is primarily caused by pollution, which is caused by human activity, but however can be addressed by implementing pollution regulation in cities and states on the people, the government, and businesses. First, let's discuss what is climate change and what causes it. Climate change climate change dates back to the Industrial Revolution, in which factories were beginning to be built here in the United States and other countries. And during the building of these factories, we were introduced to the burning of fossil fuels. The burning of fossil fuels led to the creation of the man-made greenhouse effect, which is a process in which excess gases in the atmosphere create a blanket effect around the Earth and lead to higher temperatures because it's trapping sunlight in the Earth. And that's called the man-made greenhouse effect. And that's basically what global warming and climate change is. It's the product of the greenhouse effect. So now that you know what climate change is, let's discuss what's so bad about it and why it's an issue. It's evident observed rising temperatures and extreme changes in weather patterns, which was explained by Farhan Anwar and Amar Biss in their book Climate Change, where they stated, an increase in Earth's average temperature at a scale and pace that is unprecedented is being observed, accompanied by more frequent occurrences of extreme weather conditions. This serves as evidence that climate change is an issue human society is currently facing and will continue to face in the following decades. Farhan Anwar and Amar Biss also list the possible following scenarios of climate change. They state there might be fewer colder days and nights, warmer, more frequent hot days and nights, frequency increases in warm spells and heat waves, increase in areas affected by drought, and increase in intense tropical cyclone activity in some parts of the world. These possible scenarios prove that climate change is a threat and is going to affect all of human society and force us to do something to change. All of the previously mentioned possible scenarios are not possible, but still very likely due to rising temperatures. Seth Milnstad, in 7 Concrete Ways You Can Help Slow Climate Change Because Time is Running Out, stated, global net carbon dioxide emissions would have to reach net zero in order to avoid an even bigger increase in global temperatures, which means if we don't fix these issues, it will have dire consequences on humans. So, climate change is bad and seems to be progressing very quickly, and it has been since the late 18th century. So the question posed now is, how do we stop it? A solution for climate change is to implement strict pollution regulation in cities and states on people, the government, and private companies. The federal government could enact laws such as taxing companies on CO2 emissions, stricter pollution regulation, or limiting the overall production of greenhouse gases in the states and cities. It can also promote or create services for local governments to give people opportunities for renewable energy and recycling. My solution is possible because a few decades ago the United Nations created the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which has passed many policies and laws and regulations which have helped fight against climate change. And I believe our federal government in the United States and other countries can do the same and help fight against climate change. Some people might not like this idea because they're worried about the consequences it will have, but we just need to persist and keep fighting against climate change. We need to look at the bigger picture. We need to see how it's going to affect us like decades from now, 50, 60 years from now, and our children. And we need to make a change. So you've learned that climate change is the warming of the earth caused by greenhouse gases created by humans. and it can be controlled by creating policies and laws in the federal government, and which will apply to people, private companies, and the government itself. So you might be wondering, okay, this is bad, big consequences, but what can I do? What you can do is vote for leaders who want to make change, who want to make these laws and policies benefiting the environment and the people in order to secure you and your children's futures. Thank you.